Okay, welcome back to the program. This is session 2. So just a little bit of a review from last time. So remember from last session that pain does not necessarily mean harm. Hurt does not equal harm. Remember that, pain does not actually correlate with damage to the tissues of your body. Pain is actually the alarm that the nervous system, and particularly the brain, sends out when it feels threatened. It doesn't require that the body is actually in danger, because feeling threatened is not the same as being threatened. So remember how often the brain makes mistakes and that your body is likely safer than you realize. So more often than not, with chronic pain, the pain either doesn't need to be there or doesn't need to be as strong as it is. The threat system part of the brain is producing and amplifying pain when it feels afraid. It's interpreting the body as being in danger. And remember that it's more likely to do this if it generally feels afraid, for example, from stress, anxiety, past traumas, or grief, or relationship conflicts, or role changes, or just being overstimulated and having a lot on your plate, as so many of us do in the modern world. So in this program, you're going to learn how to reduce fear in a 2-step process. Remember, the first step of that is to really face your fears fully. So write about, imagine, and acknowledge your fears. And really allow your threat system to be heard. So don't just push fears away, because the more you push them away, the stronger they get. So instead, make your threat system feel seen and heard, and take the time to learn more about yourself and what you need. The second piece then is that you'll find ways of helping your nervous system to feel calmer and less afraid. So feel like it can do less of the threat system activation and more of the calm system activation. So you'll calm your nervous system by increasing self-compassion, accessing safety, leaning into love, and making meaning by living in accordance with your values, which you'll focus on in today's session. You'll also want to, throughout this program, learn to tell yourself that pain does not necessarily mean something is wrong with your body. Again, that reminder that hurt does not equal harm, and rather that pain means your brain's threat system is activated. So remind yourself that pain, all pain really comes from the nervous system. And so to do that, what's really helpful is if throughout this program you actually pay attention to the role of the nervous system in your chronic pain. So you want to look for signs that show that your nervous system creates pain and not your muscles, joints, ligaments, bones, etc. So for example, pain increasing in times of stress, fear, frustration, including when hearing or seeing or even imagining a painful situation. So anything that makes you feel afraid that your body is in danger. If you have, any of these moments where you feel like that threat system, that danger is increasing, and then you notice pain increasing, and sometimes that's immediate or sometimes it's a bit delayed, that's an example of, the nervous system causing pain. And so you really want to notice that and really solidify that learning when you see it. You also want to look out for if pain increases when you or your relationships feel in danger. So if you have any emotions like feeling overwhelmed or under pressure or stressed, hopeless, numb, or kind of blocked, like you're pushing things down, and you notice that pain is increasing in those times, again, sometimes at a delay, that's another sign, again, that your nervous system is really causing the pain. And then there's the inverse of that. So pain decreasing when you feel safe, calm, relaxed. So calm and safe in your body and calm and safe in your life, including in your relationship with yourself or with others. So again, if there were a structural reason for pain, like there's something, in your bone or your ligament, you wouldn't see pain change in response to these things. It just, because nothing's changing in, your tissues of your body. Instead, these are changes in the nervous system. So the bottom line, at any point during this intervention, look for any change, like even small moments where your pain increases when feeling or thinking about threat, or decreases when feeling or thinking about calm. Because again, you're not changing the body part in pain at all when you're writing or imagining. So this is a sign that your nervous system is in charge of your pain. And it doesn't matter whether the change is that it increases or decreases. It's actually just good news when it changes at all. Because we wouldn't expect in these few weeks that you're with us that, your muscle or your tissues or anything is actually changing there, but your nervous system will undoubtedly change. And so if you see any fluctuations in pain, that's a really good sign and good learning that this is your nervous system. And if it's your nervous system, it means that all these techniques that we do to calm the threat, to increase the calm, that's going to help eventually reduce your pain. And so it's really, to give you some hope, look out for these signs of your nervous system being involved.